Outer Orange.
2019 was an insane year for me. I went to New York, I went to California, I broke some friendships, made some friendships. It was a really, really intense year for me. But you want to know the best part about 2019? I was able to be introduced to Cardfight Vanguard.
We have Galactic Quest and Win Condition Legion.
Hello YouTube, Tierra Paul here. We're here with the Team Dragon's Vanity booster box. All 8 of them.
So as many of you guys know, we had the 10-year anniversary for Cardfight Vanguard, and to me it was actually kind of hard to be able to fully contribute to that, mainly because May 2019 is actually my 2-year anniversary with Vanguard. This was the month that I started with Vanguard exactly 2 years back, and oh my goodness, I can't believe how far we've come, even in like 2 years, just how much I've gotten to love Vanguard and enjoy Vanguard. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about pretty much my top 5 moments with Vanguard. And to be honest, they're not really in any specific order. I think every memory that I shared with Vanguard was extremely important, whether it's the first one that we will see down the road or the 5th one that I pick. I think all 5 experiences really made me love the game like the way I love the game. And I just wanted to share with you guys my top 5 experiences in the last 2 years. Number 5. So number 5 will be literally my introduction to Vanguard. So I met someone that was part of Anime Club a while back, and they pretty much introduced me to Vanguard. They did this thing where they pretty much asked me like, what kind of decks do you like? And I was just like, well, I really like zombie, like graveyard revival decks. Like I like having other resources aside from like my hand, you know? Over the course of a week, it literally got me a Grand Blue deck. The only thing I needed to do was get Baskirks. And funnily enough, he was like, yeah, just get Baskirk and that's it. So I ordered 1 Baskirk. And I come in and I'm like, hey, I got the Baskirk. And he was like, really show me. And I'm like, here it is. And he's just like, did you buy any more? And I'm like, I thought this was the only one I needed. And he's like, you're supposed to buy a whole set. And I was like, oh. So then over time, of course, I bought all the Baskirks. And I ended up really liking the deck. I thought it was just a super fun deck. I liked, being able to revive, getting to create all this stuff. I thought the deck was amazing. And that was pretty much like my first experience with Vanguard. Having someone that was nice enough to literally help me get into the game, help me buy the cards, get me situated, to have a deck list, all this stuff, just like I could try out the game. And it was just amazing, an amazing experience. It wasn't until this next thing that like really started selling me the game, because while I was embracing the game, I wasn't like fully there yet. I wasn't fully there yet until Grand Blue got more support, and thus came out my boy. This is my 4th experience. Necromancer himself. Because if there's anything that I started enjoying about the game, it's this card right here. Ice Prism Necromancer Cocytus, and oh my god. Necromancer is what officially made me start loving Cardfight Vanguard as a whole. Necromancer was the official beginning of me just really getting to Vanguard. I spent months making Necromancer like peak performance, because Flanger was a thing, and Flanger with the Necromancer and trying not to deck out and stacking, trying to get your crits in the perfect way to make sure you have like the best thing ever. You never shuffle in the deck, unfortunately, so like whatever your beginning deck is, like whatever you start with, that's like the only time you shuffle is through your mulligan. Otherwise you never shuffle, which that was actually really interesting. So you're literally banking on what's just gonna happen. And at least in V Premium, keep in mind this is V Premium that we're talking about here, not regular Premium. But in V Premium, back before all the support came out and everything happened, you literally never shuffle. You just have to just hope that you mill into all your pieces. It's kind of interesting. I personally love the deck, and we're going on to pretty much my third best memory, which was regionals. Regionals was what I took Necromancer to. So Regionals was in October for me. Necromancer came out, I believe, in August. It came out with the Aquaforce stuff. I'll put the set right here somewhere. It was like an Aquaforce, Grand Blue, and something else. I can't remember what the 3rd thing was. But that was pretty much like the main. The Necromancer came out in that, and then of course like Silver Thorns just came out, and it was like Silver Thorns, Dark Irregulars, all this stuff, right? And Hugo was like doing his thing, and Hugo doing Hugo things, and I was set to to stone to going into regionals with my Grand Blue deck. I was tempted to go something else. I think it was golds, but then like long story short, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go Necromancer. And my goodness, so when I went into this regionals, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go into this, and I'm gonna go into this like probably losing, because like I've only been officially playing the game since like I would say August. Like my Vanguard deck was like my training deck. Once I got Necromancer, I was like, all right. We got the Necromancer, we got the Ghost Ship, we got the Banshee, we got the Ruin Shade, we got the Greed Shade. The Greed Shade came out in the set, right? So Greed Shade came out and I was like, I can do this. I can Greed Shade into my pieces, I can mill into this, I can flanker, enter, and I had all these strategies going. I'm a protect deck. If they throw stuff at me, I'm gonna be crazy. But I wasn't expecting to win. My expectation when I went to regionals was like, yeah, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna lose, and I'm just gonna move on, because I literally just got into the game. I haven't touched a TCG in years. I don't expect it. But guess what, guys? I kept winning. I kept going. I was in the top tables for like 3 rounds. No joke. I kept winning and winning and winning. By the way, I had 2 of my friends, one of which was literally the guy that introduced me to the game, and the other friend was actually Star Wars Man, the guy that gave me all his cards recently, because he moved. But anyway, and we literally went to a Post Malone concert the night before, by the way, so we were pretty freaking tired during this. They were just going crazy. They were like, you won? And I'm like, yeah. And then I go to game 2, they're like, you won? And I'm like, yeah. And then I go to game 3, they're like, you won? And I'm like, yeah, I just won. Unfortunately, I did start losing like further down the line, but I was in complete like, what? Because I wasn't expecting to just take this little Necromancer deck and start winning with it. But my flanger came in so clutch. My crits came in so clutch. I also ran a card called Dragon Spirit. And Dragon Spirit, a lot of people were really like not feeling how well this card works, but it gets 10k. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't remember. It gets 8k power if you like, I can't remember the full condition, but I think you get 8k power if you bring it from drop zone, right? So it becomes a 16k booster, and behind Necromancer, that made that column really lethal. And then, or if you play it behind Flanger, the point of the Dragon Spirit was I would put it behind Flanger and make Flanger literally as untouchable as possible. So, you know, like people would try to intercept for their stuff because Flanger like would literally like restrict you from everything. However, if you have the grade 2s in the board, like if you're an Excel clan, you can actually still kind of intercept through. So what I would do is I would put Dragon Spirit behind there to make it like, to make my Flanger like 38, 40, something like that. I made that number so stupid that people wouldn't be able to guard it. People were questioning my Spirit. I had people were watching our fight, like some of the fights, and they're like, why is she running Dragon Spirit? Is she like dumb? And I'm like, I put the Spirit down, I put the Flanger down, right? Like I do all my skills where Flanger, you can't guard 1s, 2s, and 3s. Opponent has 3 grade 2s out on the board, they die. They literally couldn't guard it. So Dragon Spirit was good, okay? I did finally lose. I lost to a Narukami player, which unfortunately was on my end, and I've talked about this story so many times because I will never forget that one time during regionals that I greed shaded incorrectly. I greed shaded for a PG against somebody who had a guard restrict with perfect guards. And then he's like, yeah, this one attack, you can't PG it, and I died. And I was extremely sad because I would have won that game. And then I won a game, and then I lost the game again after that. But it was a really fun experience. I actually lost to Hyuga. So I lost to Hyuga, I lost to Narukami. I think after that I was pretty much like done. I was pretty tired, so I just kind of called it a game. But it was a wonderful experience. Regionals was absolutely amazing. The next thing I'll be talking about, which is our second from the top, I guess, is Vanguard Zero. So I was starting to kind of die down on Vanguard. You know, we had COVID happen, everything happened. So I was just kind of like, man, like, what am I gonna do now? Like, how am I supposed to play Vanguard? Like, I was supposed to get excited. I used to go to tournaments like literally 3-4 times a week. Like, I was like so into Vanguard. Like, I would literally go to school, I'd go to work, and I'd go play Vanguard. Barely get any sleep. I had 4 AM shifts, everything, and I would still make it to these tournaments no matter what. I was just always on these tournaments because I was just going crazy. And I didn't do my YouTube stuff back then, so like I think I had like 1 or 2 videos of just some deck profiles, but I wasn't like insane or anything. So I had the time to literally go to tournaments. But regardless, what really made me start appreciating Vanguard, Cardfight Vanguard as a whole, is Vanguard Zero. Because going into the game, I was a V Premium player, right? So I was playing V Premium. I never touched Premium. I was scared to touch Premium. Some of the people around me were like, play Premium. Grand Blue is even better in there. And I'm like, I don't know. I actually bought, like, I spent $70 something. I bought a deck from Crow, and it was one of his Grand Blue decks, and I pretty much used that to kind of try to get into it, and then I kind of just like fell off from it with COVID and everything like that. But Vanguard Zero replenished my love for Vanguard. That's actually, Vanguard Zero is the reason I started doing my YouTube stuff again. It's the reason I started doing deck profiles again. It's the reason I got like really back into the game. Vanguard Zero literally inflamed me into everything, because like some people who have already played Vanguard in the past kind of already know what the cards cards do, but to me it was like a whole new can of worms that I've just never seen. Seeing all these units, seeing how they work, seeing old units, seeing how Blaster Blade used to work, how Conqueror used to work, how OTT used to work, what Overlord does, what the end is in old times, like how and especially I really started enjoying Bermuda Triangle. I thought Bermuda Triangle was just like a really cool idea. Like I just saw how Pacifica played out and I was like, holy crap, this is like actually super cool. Like I just kind of started seeing this whole new world that I missed out on in the last like pretty much 8 years, because I got into Vanguard on its 8th year, right? So like 8 years of Vanguard that just never seen. There for that experience. I wasn't playing the game, you know what I mean? But Vanguard Zero actually introduced me to that, and that's why it's in my top memories, because that first day, that first week, that first month, just through going through the experiences, getting the materials, getting the cards, and I was, yeah, like Vanguard Zero isn't perfect, it's got its issues, I completely agree, but as a person just enjoying the nostalgia of the game, enjoying what the game used to be, seeing how everything interacts, it's just a whole new level of like, wow, kind of my top number one. But it's pretty much my experience with the community as a whole. So when I first got into Vanguard, you know, I was kind of new. I didn't know what I was doing. And I went to a tournament. You know, there's a guy that came to me and was like, hey, like, well, actually, maybe I talked to him. I don't remember. But regardless, we started a conversation. I think he had like angel feathers or something like that. And the deck was like really shiny. It was like Metatron and Zarakio, right? And they were just really pretty. And I was just like, wow, like, what is that? And this guy was also in the tournament, by the way. I don't remember what, I think he went in with Melody. But anyway, so he was like, oh, this is like Angel Feather, you want to look through it? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to look through it. So I'm looking through his cards and all this stuff, and I didn't know what anything Angel Feather does, by the way, but I thought it looked really gorgeous. And then I saw like a piece of like another card, and it was Sonata. And I was like, what is that? What's that over there? And he was like, oh, that's Bermuda Triangle. And I was like, what's Bermuda Triangle? And my friend who got me to the game, he's like, no. And I'm like, what's Bermuda Triangle? And my friend's like, no, don't get sucked into the waifu tax. I was like, no, I'm so curious. What is this? And he shows me, and it's like this beautiful, pretty looking deck with just all these Melody units. And I know, like, I didn't know how cancerous it was, by the way. But I was like, wow, this looks really cool. Like, how do you play it? And he's like, oh, sometimes you bounce, sometimes you do this, you gain power, all this stuff. But, you know, I got my Green Blue stuff. You know, I just got into the game. I don't want to toss too much money into it just yet. I don't want to get used to it. I think he just literally, like, goes to his binder. He disappears, goes to his binder, comes back, gives me a stack of cards, and he's like, here you go. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, just you could start out with this. Like it was like some grade 1, some grade 2, some grade 3s, and some Melody units, all this stuff. I think the only thing he didn't give me was like perfect cards, but he pretty much gave me a starting deck to try out Bermuda Triangle. And I was like, and when I looked at the prices online, I was like, oh my gosh, he just gave me like $130 worth of stuff. Like he just gave me all this. He gave me a grade 4, like he just gave me like all this stuff, I guess the stuff that he just didn't need or just doesn't use, he just threw it at me. And I'm like, that was so sweet. And I was just like, wow, the community is really nice. And that like kind of completed the circle, you know, like over time. So like we had the experience where at first, you know, it got introduced to Vanguard. Then we had regionals, which I saw the competitive side of things. And then we had Vanguard Zero, which pretty much just let me see like what Vanguard used to be. And then we had the community, which kind of put it all together for me. Like being able to experience the nostalgia, be able to experience the game, being shown to it, and then even having someone kind enough to literally have me try out a clan. And putting all that together has made me pretty much fall in love with Cardfight Vanguard. It's everything in one. It's kind of just all one big circle. Overall, the experience was just so wonderful. So I want to make this video to kind of thank everybody, both for just being here as a community, supporting my videos, even though I know I'm like newer to the card game, you know, giving me tips and, you know, tricks and all this stuff of how to play the game better, being around me during regionals. For those of you who guys were around me during regionals, thank you, and thank you for coming with me to regionals. It was extremely fun. The person that got me into Bermuda Triangle, thank you so much for showing me the cards and getting me into the game even more so. The person who got me into Grand Blue, who literally bought me majority of the deck, thank you so much. Thank you to the Vanguard Zero studio for existing and for creating all this stuff, and thank you Bushiroad for even coming up with the idea, and thank you to all the content creators, because without you guys I wouldn't be here enjoying the game. If it wasn't for pretty much the big trio, like for Solom and Different Fight and Vanguard Insider, I wouldn't be able to even have the knowledge of Vanguard like I have the knowledge now, because, you know, I've spent these past 2 years literally grinding and watching and grinding and watching and trying to understand what Cardfight Vanguard is. So thank you so much everybody who has been a part of this journey so far. I can't wait for more future experiences with Vanguard. I'm gonna kind of end it here because I just think it's a good spot to end it on. But thank you so much everybody. Peace out, you know, до свидания. Hit that like button, hit the like button, you know, with a card or something. Subscribe, keep me going so that way we can start doing more stuff with the channel and all that fun stuff. But on that, guys, peace out, до свидания, and see you guys in the next one. Bye!